Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony, and this video we're going to be discussing the crazy subject of menopause and what I have been going through in the last 2 months especially. I thought I was over menopause, completely over, and I have come to find out that that was just the start of it. So this video is going to be just going into all that, what I've noticed, and what I am doing to help with those menopause symptoms, and also to help my weight loss year in. All right, you guys, let's just get into this because I want to share with you some things that I have been doing that has really helped with my symptoms and actually has boosted my weight loss to a new height. So I just want to get into that. So I did refer to my doctor. First of all, let me get rid of this. I did refer to my doctor and ask him, you know, what has, have people ever noticed these symptoms that I'm having, and kind of get his intake on what he has noticed, and what he has told his patients and how to go forward with this. So I've got my notes here, and I'm just going to kind of refer to them a little bit because there is a lot. I've been preparing for this video for a couple of weeks. I haven't been on here. I had a grocery haul yesterday, so that was my first time back in a couple of weeks. So I've been just kind of gathering information on what I've been doing. In my grocery haul, I did mention that I'm doing a new way of eating because of these symptoms that I'm having, and it has helped tremendously. So just a little background. Last year, I had a precancer scare, and it was in my uterus. So they found some precancerous cells in there. They removed them all. But that in general, the word cancer really scared me to death. So right then and there, I think that day I went out in the car, I cried, had a big cry because it was a scary situation, because they didn't know I had the cancer the precancer in there until they actually got in there. My pap smears were completely clear and negative. They're, everything was great, and I had not had a period for 4 years. So just in general, that was scary right there. And then the pandemic hit and everything had to be put on hold. So in the meantime, I didn't know any of this was going on with this precancerous thing. And I call it a thing. It's not a thing. It's a serious situation. Long story short, they got all the precancerous cells out of there, which I'm so thankful, so blessed for that. Because I want to be here. I want to be here for my son. I want to, be here. So what I started doing is I thought, yeah, okay, that's part of menopause. People they have these precancerous cells and they go through all this, and then they're through with menopause. Well, I didn't really put two and two together that all my weight gain and all my weight that I have maintained or have not been able to lose is just, it was sticking to me. I couldn't, anything I've done so many different diets, so many different ways of eating, so many different variations of all of that I just could not get anything to stick so I would actually lose the weight. Now, when I was younger, I could lose weight so fast, and I don't know, it was just because I was younger, or it's just the menopause, the hormones have changed within my body, and I just feel like, so last year I lost about 25 pounds with a combination of Weight Watchers and low carb, keto. I lost about 25 pounds, but then about the start of 2022, I started gaining just a lot of inflammation, just a lot of unexplained weight. And I didn't know what I was doing wrong because I was walking every day. I was watching when I was eating, and then I thought, oh, it's got to be the plan I'm on, you know, and I kept saying to myself and changing my plans. So that's where I was. I was like, okay, I was on Weight Watchers. It's got to be Weight Watchers. It's got to be the way I was doing Weight Watchers. And then the keto, then it's got to be that, but I think it really was just the menopause. And that's what my doctor said, that, your hormones change. You're going to gain weight. You're going to gain a lot of fat in, tissue, like, I forgot what they call it, where the fat sits on top of your skin. If you know, please comment below. But I've gotten that on my legs, and I've never had that before. I've never had like a lot of cellulite, but that actual change in my hormones and I guess your estrogen caused some fat to gather. And they said it's not like superficial, but it's really hard to get rid of unless you're doing a lot of intermittent fasting and then things like that. And also, my memory throughout the year of 2022 was absolutely zero. I felt like I could not even put a damn sentence together this whole year until I started eating another way. Yeah, my memory from 5 minutes ago, I couldn't remember. You walk into a room, you can't remember why you're going in there. Just the memory of just keeping certain situations. I just had a complete brain fog, and my memory was so terrible. A lot of things in my life were being affected by it. So that's another thing. I also started having some hair loss around this area here. I started having some balding. As you can tell, it's a lot better than when if you look at my videos from prior, I would always comb my hair this way because the bald spot was like right here. And that was pretty much it. The rest of my hair was pretty, not thick. I've got fine hair, but I just got a lot of fine hair. But it was getting to the point where I was like, I can't even wear my hair this way because of the bald part. So I did go back a little bit on my notes here. Right before I thought I was over my menopause, or actually when my cycle had stopped, I had 2 really, really severe periods where it ended up in the ER. And then suddenly, right after that, my cycle just ended. So I thought, oh, it's been 3 years. I haven't had a cycle. Then I must be through menopause. Yay, that's great. I escaped it with hardly any symptoms. Yay, you think that. Well, no, that was the crazy thing, is that I thought I was through all this, but I seriously was just getting started. So I started doing kind of an elimination diet with my diet because I knew everything I was putting in my mouth was causing inflammation, crazy, crazy inflammation, like bloat right after I would eat. I was getting to the point where I couldn't hardly exercise, and this is all in like 1 year. And I thought it was maybe I was going to cut the dairy and maybe that would help. So what I did is I cut everything except meat. That is it. And I know made this cutting everything but meat made some of my viewers are going to go, oh my gosh, here we go. She's starting carnivore. Here we go. Well, I did this. I've done this for about a month and a half. Almost 2 months will be at the end of December. I've been on eating basically all meat products and fat, and lots of fat. And that has turned everything around. My inflammation, I don't have that anymore. I used to have these severe belching attacks. Now take in mind, before I get into all that, but I was eating a lot of salads, pretty much every day, a lot of salads. Um, I was eating really good food in those salads, like olives, extra virgin olive oil, nutritional yeast, and other things, like a lot of lettuce, a lot of broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. I was eating all those. So when I would go to bed at night, I would have these awful belching attacks. And I know that's really attractive to have belching attacks in the middle of the night and right before I would go to bed. So when I would lay down, those belching attacks would get so bad that I would just sit there for a good hour just belching, belching, belching. I mean, and it's it's almost embarrassing to even say that, but it would happen. It started happening every night, and I felt like after I ate that salad, I would blow up. I mean, my stomach would look two sizes bigger than what I was. So I thought I had like SIBO, small intestinal bowel. I forgot what it is, but it was called SIBO, where it goes into your small intestines and just basically sits there and does not digest. So it wouldn't move or anything. So I started taking super enzymes. I started taking anything that would digest carbs, fats, proteins, anything that went in my stomach. But anything. So I had developed IBS as well. So everything I ate, it was like my system was on overload. And the symptoms that I would have is just pure air in my whole body. And that's why I was belching so much. This is embarrassing to say that, but so I thought it was just a combination of stress at work, the eating of the salads, but I never did that whole time when I was eating those salads. I never put two and two together that might be it. I mean, I knew like broccoli, cauliflower, those types of vegetables would cause a lot of, indigestion problems with me, but I would eat very bare minimal of those types of vegetables because I filled up so fast on those. So, long story short, I just started taking everything out and trying to add them in. And I did that for a couple of weeks because I was sitting there saying to myself, I can't just eat all meat, all protein. Um, I've got to get nutrition somewhere, right? Well, I started doing a lot of studying on it, a lot of looking into carnivore and what it has done for people and what it entails, and all the nutrition that is in actual meat is so nutrition dense food that I never knew that. So I think I'll do another video on that whole eating, starting the meat, because it has helped me so much. You have no idea how much. My hormones were out of whack and I didn't even know it. And it took me eating this way of eating is what they call it, to recognize that I was so far from being over my menopause symptoms. I was so far over. I was not even near being done with that. So I wanted to just tell you the pros and cons just briefly, because I really want to get into it on my next video, but briefly, the cons of just starting to eat this way is your intestinal tract, your stomach, and all of that has to get used to this way of eating. Never in my wildest dreams I ever thought about going down this road, because I always thought that not having a gallbladder, that you could not do either carnivore or high fat diet. Boy, was I wrong. And I will be the first to admit it, I was completely wrong with that, because it has turned my life upside down to the point of no return, and it has been such a wonderful thing. Now, when I first started, The cons is your intestinal, your it has to you have to find a happy medium with it, because that's what I had to do. Because right from the very beginning, I'm like, oh great, if I eat all this fat, I'll feel great, and if I eat just meat, I'll feel great. Well, your body's like, no, you can't go all in with this all at once. So I had to start off pretty slow. After I started really quickly, I quickly found out that that was just a complete disaster. I was in the bathroom every 5 seconds. Too much TMI on that one, but I was in the bathroom a lot in the beginning. But then I said, you know what? There's got to be a happy medium to this. There has to be. If it's just such a great thing for everybody, then I've got to figure this out. So what I did was I upped my fat and took down my protein a little bit, because I was eating a lot of protein, and I didn't realize it until about a week ago that I was eating way too much protein and I was stalling my weight. So what I did was I downed my protein and I upped my fat a lot. And I thought, oh man, my liver's just going to go crazy on this one. And it didn't. It actually has adapted. My whole body is working on ketones instead of sugar, because I eat no sugar, like zero, zero sugar. So my body has actually taken a couple of months to adapt this way. And I run your brain and all of that needs cholesterol to run efficiently. So the way I was eating before, with all the salads and things like that, with the vegetables, even though it was great eating them, the after effect was so major for me. It almost makes you want to cry, because I I felt like I was doing the right thing with myself, with eating the good salads and all that, but a lot of that is, they call it oxalates in the lettuce and kale and spinach and all that, is truly, truly not good for the body. And I know a lot of people are going to balk at that. And I hope I don't get like all these hate messages and all that, but please do your research on that. But yeah, I probably will. But I have really, I mean, every day is like a study. Like, I feel like I'm in school every single day trying to study what is good and what is not. And it may not, it's not for everybody. I'm not saying everyone should go out and do carnivore, or even low carb. Low carb is really good, but if you're eating a salad and you're blowing up with inflammation or dairy or something like that, there's got to be something to that. And if you just kind of open your mind a little bit, because that's what I had to do, because I was so closed minded on what I was going to do, where I was going to go, what I was going to eat, what plan I was going to go on. I was calling it a plan. And I just didn't realize that I had to really focus in, okay, what am I eating? What am I truly eating here? And I got, and I'll do another video on the test results that I got back. I got second blood test of the year. I do 2 a year. And I wanted to wait until I was doing this for at least almost 2 months before I did another test, a blood test. And you wouldn't believe, my blood test came back flying colors. I was actually like, right before I went in there to do the test, I was like, oh God, my cholesterol is going to be through the roof. And so in closing, I don't want to make this video super long, but in closing, just listen to your body and what it's trying to tell you. A lot of people just go eat and not even think about what they're eating and what they're putting in their body. I was doing that. And now I'm really focusing on, I may eat a lot of the same things every day, and it might be so boring, but it's the way I feel after I eat is such a difference. I don't blow up anymore. I don't feel like I'm all achy and, water retention. It would go straight to my knees. I don't have that anymore. I sleep like a baby now. I know my body's running on ketones, which is great, and not on sugar. Your body should not be running on sugar. And the just the inside healing that has happened, and I'll go over that in all of my next video, and what has happened. Just, I'm sleeping I'm just, also I've noticed a lot of change in this area. The tummy area is getting flatter, and I feel like my clothes are, just, I'm wearing them different. Even though I haven't lost a ton of weight, I did weigh myself. I'm 202 now. I was 204 yesterday. Now I'm 202. And I think it's because I've upped the fat. I wasn't eating enough fat. Believe me, when I say I was scared of eating a bunch of fat, I mean, I was petrified to eat so much fat because I felt like, this is before, I felt like I was either going to get so much cholesterol and that, that I might have a heart attack or something like that. So the thought of all that, the fat, the cholesterol, believe me when I say I had that fear as well until I did my research and found out it's a bunch of BS. So in other words, I'm 55 and I am going through menopause. I feel like I'm in a meeting or something. I'm going through menopause and I am eating this way to help the menopause symptoms, and I feel fabulous. And the reason why I'm trying to get this out there is because I want you guys to feel fabulous too. So I hope that this has helped someone out there, and you guys have a great night, and I will see you on the next one. See you later. Bye.